So Prader-Willi syndrome affects 1 in 15,000 births, approximately. The hallmark symptoms are hyperphagia, which is a chronic insatiable hunger, and obesity. My daughter was born floppy, and so she had really low muscle tone, which is the case with all kids with PWS at birth. And so she was born at Pennsylvania Hospital, where they do a test for Prader-Willi syndrome as a standard test for any baby that's born floppy. And so we received her diagnosis within, or actually 10 days after she was born. And so just to, I guess, link that a little bit to our work, we started Trend because when I joined a private Facebook group for caregivers of children with Prader-Willi syndrome, I observed that seemed to be a disconnect between what was written in the literature about Prader-Willi syndrome and what we had been told to expect from the disease and what seemed to be possible for a child born today with PWS. So the children were thriving in a way that I couldn't have imagined. They were maintaining healthy weights. They were, keeping up with their peers in school. And so we started Trend in order to start to systematically collect the anecdotes that caregivers were sharing on social media to get a better understanding of the lived experiences of patients and caregivers today with Prader-Willi syndrome. We're a for-profit company, but we're mission-driven and we're free for patients and caregivers, and we license our data to pharmaceutical companies and other stakeholders who want to bring treatments back to the community. And so we say that the data that we're producing, the insights that we're producing are hypothesis generating. And so, for example, in Prader-Willi syndrome, my daughter does not have hyperphagia and she is not obese. And so when we did social listening on the private groups for our community, we found that people were talking a lot about issues around sleep. And so as a result of this work, we've actually made a connection between Prader-Willi syndrome and narcolepsy. And so we partnered with a pediatric neurologist at Texas Children's Hospital to define what disordered sleep looked like in that patient population. And then using this codebook that we created together, we trained our analytics engine to understand what disordered sleep looks like. And so we went back out into social media and we were able to start to quantify the problem. So as an example, out of the box, an analytics engine might group together, I'm sleepy, I'm tired, I'm fatigued. Whereas we trained it to look for things like head bobbing, imbalance issues, falling over, narcolepsy, cataplexy. And so by partnering with domain experts, we are able to start to produce some evidence that around these specific issues that maybe are under researched or underreported in literature. And then sort of fast forward, we're licensing our data to a pharmaceutical company that actually just, their NDA was just approved for a treatment for narcolepsy. And now they're using our data to help them design a clinical trial for Prader-Willi syndrome.